What is up everyone? Welcome back to another Identity 5 video, and in today's video I'm gonna be sharing you guys my thoughts and opinions on the new adjustments coming to the game. Now before we get into the video, I would like to ask you guys to follow me on Twitch with the link in the description, as I do stream on Twitch regularly. And yeah, check me out on Twitch and we can chat while I stream. So, getting into today's main topic about the adjustments, especially the nerfs that are coming to the survivors and the hunters. Well, my thoughts is that this is a very bad adjustment to any character that's getting nerfed, such as Wildling and Mechanic, Mercenary, as well as the hunters that I main like Feaster, Axeboy, and also Bonbon. So right now, let's start with the survivors. So Wildling is gonna get a nerf. Basically, whenever he gets off his boar and rides it the next time, the time for him riding his boar would be decreased. So this definitely hurts his aspect of harassing and him as an A tier survivor and a good replacement for forward all this while. Now, I really do disagree with this nerf because I myself am a Wildling main and I do not feel like this brings him any benefits whatsoever. And they're just basically trying to tell you, if you wanna harass, you should play forward, or in other words, you should also play batter because he is getting a buff. And now that Wildling, since his decoding debuff is also really bad, 30% debuff, it would be a very good replacement with batter and forward, since forward is better at harassing and batter is better at kiting and harassing at the same time, with a better decoding speed as well. So this really puts Wildling back into the old times before his buff. And is he viable still? Yes, if you master him, but it's pretty hard to master him with his new adjustment, and with his riding time being decreased, it really destroys the aspect of him like traveling across the map to secure the tie, or having that one little bit of boar to save the survivors on the balloon, or maybe even getting the body block when necessary, or clutching dungeon. So this really hurts Wildling because of the decreased time. And yeah, I don't think it is very necessary to do that, since in my opinion right now he has a decoding debuff and his pushing can only do 3 at max, and sometimes even just 2 long pushes would put him down on his boar. And when he gets hit off his boar, he gets a 60-second cooldown, so that's 1 full minute of no ability. So I think that's pretty unreasonable, and I think the only reason why they are doing this is because they want to bring batter into the light and introduce a new character to replace forward when he is banned. Next, we are going to look at Seer. So basically, whenever Seer spectates another survivor, the other survivors are going to get a notification that he is spectating. So this may be a buff and this may not be a buff, because what I think is that many people play this game for fun, and now that they have added this feature to the Seer, and if they miss the owl or accidentally use the owl at the wrong scenarios, toxicity will just arise from there. And what I think about this adjustment is that people will tend to blame the Seer for being bad at playing him or making a mistake every time the Seer misses an owl. Now this doesn't mean that Seer is going to be bad or anything, it's just that there are just people who would hate on the users or players because of one small mistake, and you know, this is a very bad habit of many survivors or hunters or any other players who try to be toxic in the game. And now let's look at the Mercenary. Mercenary is one of my favorite characters because he is really good in rescuing, and he is so good at kiting that to the point where hunters don't even want to chase him, because chasing a mercenary means at least a 3-cipher kite, and this puts the hunter into a losing position, and which is why mercenary is heavily banned in tournaments, banned in rank, and a character that hunters really don't want to face. And if that's not annoying enough, whenever you put the mercenary on the chair, he has the longest chair time ever than any other survivor, which really puts the hunter in the losing side. So because of that, the mercenary is now nerfed, and from 4 elbow pads, which was previously nerfed from 5, is now going to become 3. And his rocket chair speed is going to be reduced to 10%, and it used to be 30%, which means his chair time will be shorter and he has only 3 elbow pads to work with. So what I see with this will be that Mercenary will still be a pretty solid rescuer, but to the point where he won't be an S tier rescuer anymore and will be replaced by First Officer because of his buff. So whenever First Officer will be eventually banned in rank, Mercenary will be the one replacing him, and if Mercenary is banned, then First Officer will be used. And if both of them are banned, such as in tournament, Gravekeeper will be used. So right now I only see that this nerf has made Mercenary a replacement if First Officer is banned. The next survivor we're gonna look at is Mechanic. So Mechanic is one of the strongest, if not the most powerful survivor in the game, because as a survivor, your main objective is to decode and escape. And now that whenever Mechanic is on the chair, she can decode a cipher faster than herself even. So because of that reason, hunters always lose to teams that have mechanics, and add that with a mercenary, forward, and seer. This team is just OP, man. And because of that, the developers are going to nerf Mechanic, and she is going to have reduced decoding speed. So this is a huge nerf, as every second counts in the game, and however much decoding progress you can get on the cipher machine, every bit counts. Now we'll also get into the next character, which is Explorer, the second best decoder in the game. Now Explorer is also getting nerfed. This may seem small, but the effect it brings is really big. So Explorer's digging time is increased by 5 seconds, so it takes 5 more seconds to look for a password page. Now what's bad about this is that 5 seconds can be really crucial. What if it's the last cipher and you need 5 seconds more just to find the password page? Go to a machine and pop that machine, and by then the person who is down is already picked up. Or whenever you're looking for a password page and the hunter finds you, 5 more seconds could mean that you can get a password page by then when you are chased. But now, since you have 5 more seconds to worry about, you might not even get the password page before you start your kite. And this is pretty bad for the explorer. Next up, we are going to look at the hunters. So the first hunter that's going to have an adjustment is Axeboy. So basically, his fireball is going to have a decreased range of use from 36 to 32 meters. And the time to destroy his trees have been decreased from 12 seconds to 8 seconds. And whenever Axeboy is in max presence, his skill won't be able to affect the survivors within 4 seconds at the same time. So basically, whatever buffs that has been given to Axeboy is going to be nerfed. Not to say he's going to go back to his old self, but it's definitely not going to be the best version of him. So what this does is that Axeboy really needs to rely on his fireballs in early game, and now that the range has been taken away and the time to destroy his trees have been decreased, his overall control over the map and pressuring survivors is going to be a lot harder for him. Next, we're going to look at Sculptor, and Sculptor's nerf is that her spike is going to be decreased from 16 seconds to 12 seconds, and the cooldown will be increased from 12 seconds to 15 seconds. Now what this does is that it really takes away Sculptor's map pressure on the survivors, and it really hurts how she can control the cipher progress when someone's on chair. Now, this would bring her from an S tier hunter down to an A tier hunter, just like Bloody Queen. Next, we're going to look at my favorite hunter, the Feaster. Now, for Feaster's adjustment, it's totally trash because his attack recovery time and normal attack time is increased by 0.5 seconds. His attack range is decreased, and whenever he gets his first presence, his tentacle will not auto recharge, and whenever he gets close to multiple survivors, his tentacles would not charge as quickly as it used to. So now this is basically turning Feaster from a very top A tier hunter down to a very low B tier hunter, or maybe even a top C tier hunter, because Feaster has nothing to work with early game and only relies on the very few tentacles he can get to potentially win or tie the game. Now, this is going to be a lot harder since all the little nerfs on his attack recovery and attack range is going to make his job a lot harder, since the survivors meta is very good at decoding even with 3 rescuers on the team. The next hunter we're going to talk about is Bonbon. Now Bonbon is one of my favorite hunters in the game, and he is overall the second best hunter after Dream Witch. So basically Bonbon's nerf is that his bombs will not interrupt the person who is rescuing. So whenever you are a mercenary and you get chipped and hit at the same time, and Bonbon placed a bomb, you wouldn't be disturbed by the bomb when you rescue. Nevertheless, even get the hit. And in my opinion, this really turns Bonbon into a TIE hunter, or even in other words, an A tier hunter when his position was an S tier hunter. And this really hurts his camping during the game, and because his walking speed is very slow, it really takes a toll on him and requires a lot more skill and practice to master him and even win with him. Now I see that he is going to look more of a TIE hunter than an easy 4-man hunter. And Dream Witch is also getting nerfed. So the developers are literally nerfing every S tier and A tier hunter that we know, and including Dream Witch. So basically, whenever Dream Witch is 20 meters behind a survivor, the survivor will be notified of her location. And I really don't think that is necessary, because the whole point of Dream Witch is so that people don't know she's there. But now, survivors will know that the Dream Witch is 20 meters behind them. They can expect to have a follower coming up to their cipher, and they can expect to rotate away from their cipher, go to a better kiting area, all those little things. And on top of that, whenever the Dream Witch uses her ability, either the Dream Witch or her leech, whenever they use a trait like Blink, Patroller, or Abnormal, the other spawns or main body is going to have a 20-second cooldown. Basically, which means you can't double blink, you can't patroller, hit and patroller again, you can't double abnormal, and this is really going to affect Dream Witch's endgame, as she capitalizes off her endgame to win. And also, we're gonna talk about Wu Chang. He's also getting nerfed, and basically it takes his element of surprise away from him, because whenever he throws his umbrella, survivors are going to be notified. So the survivors won't get surprised, terror shocked, and all that stuff anymore, because they can expect the hunter to come. And finally, for Evil Reptilian and Mad Eyes, they are literally destroyed, and nerf beyond nerf, they have now become C tier hunters and as low as Hell Ember and Clown right now. So that is it for my opinions, and thanks for watching this video. Bye.